November 24th, 1971. Thanksgiving Eve. Portland International Airport. A normal Wednesday afternoon. A man in a black suit and tie walked to the ticket counter. Dark sunglasses. Black briefcase. He bought a one-way ticket to Seattle. Name, Dan Cooper. He boarded Flight 305. 42 passengers, 6 crew members. Destination, Seattle. 316 miles north. 30-minute flight. He chose seat 18C. Last row. Right by the rear stairs. He ordered a bourbon and soda, lit a cigarette, and waited. 2:55 p.m. The plane took off. Smooth ascent, clear skies. Everything seemed normal, but in 15 minutes, everything would change. 3:10 p.m. He pressed the call button. Flight attendant Florence Schaffner approached. He handed her a folded note. She smiled, thinking it was a phone number. But his next words froze her blood. "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." She sat down next to him. He opened the briefcase slightly. Red cylinders, wires, a battery. It looked real. Her hands were shaking. His voice was calm, professional. "I want $200,000 in $20 bills. 4 parachutes, 2 back, 2 front. Have them ready when we land in Seattle." Florence walked to the cockpit. Her legs could barely move. She told Captain Scott, "We've been hijacked. He has a bomb. He wants money and parachutes." Captain Scott radioed Seattle. "We have a hijacking situation. Passenger has explosive device. Demands $200,000 and 4 parachutes. Need clearance to land." Seattle Tower alerted the FBI. Northwest Orient Airlines scrambled. They had less than 20 minutes. $200,000. 1971. That's worth $1.4 million today. Northwest Orient contacted Seattle First National Bank. "We need $200,000 in 20s. Immediately. It's an emergency." Bank employees worked frantically. The FBI found parachutes, 2 military back chutes, 2 civilian sport chutes. They photographed serial numbers. Every detail documented. If he survived, they would track him. Meanwhile, Flight 305 circled above Seattle, burning fuel, buying time. The hijacker sat calmly, smoking another cigarette, watching the clock. 5:39 p.m. The money and parachutes arrived at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Captain Scott received clearance. "We're coming down." The plane touched down. Runway 25. Cooper's orders were clear. "Park away from the terminal. Keep the engines running. Bring the money and parachutes to the plane. No tricks." A ground crew member approached. Florence opened the rear door. The man handed her the money bag. 21 pounds of cash. 10,000 $20 bills. She carried it to Cooper. Then the parachutes. 4 packages. Cooper examined each one carefully. Checked the ripcords. Inspected the straps. He knew what he was doing. 6 p.m. Cooper's next demand: "Release all passengers. Keep the flight crew. Refuel the plane. We're flying to Mexico City." Now only the crew remained. Captain Scott, First Officer Ratasak, Flight Engineer Anderson, Stewardess Mucklow, and Cooper. 5 people, alone on a plane with a bomb. Cooper changed the plan. Not Mexico. Too far. Fly to Reno, Nevada. Altitude, 10,000 feet. Speed, 170 knots. Flaps 15 degrees. Cabin unpressurized. Rear stairs down. 7:40 p.m. The plane took off again. Into the darkness, heading south. Toward Reno, 380 miles. Cooper told the crew, "Stay in the cockpit. Do not come back here." Cooper was alone in the cabin. He tied the money bag to his waist, put on 1 parachute, left the others behind. Then he walked to the rear of the plane. Before we continue, hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the ending, and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. 8:05 p.m. The crew felt a change in air pressure. The rear cabin warning light flashed. Cooper had opened the aft stairs. In the cockpit, the warning light turned red. Aft stairs extended. Captain Scott reached for the intercom. "Everything okay back there?" No response. Only wind noise. Cooper stood at the edge, 10,000 feet above the earth. Freezing wind. Total darkness. Rain pouring. He looked down. Nothing but black. 8:13 p.m. Somewhere over the Cascade Mountains, southwest Washington. He took 1 step forward and jumped into the storm, into the night. 200 miles per hour, minus 50 degrees, freezing rain. He fell through the clouds. Invisible. Did he pull the ripcord? Did the parachute open? No one knows. The storm was too thick, night too dark. He disappeared into the void. The plane flew on. The crew landed in Reno at 10:15 p.m. FBI agents boarded immediately. They searched every inch. Cooper was gone. The cabin was empty. 3 parachutes remained. 1 was missing. The briefcase with the bomb was there, but Cooper and $200,000 had vanished. November 25th, dawn. The FBI launched the largest manhunt in history. They calculated the drop zone, somewhere in southwest Washington. Woodland near Ariel. 300 agents, 20 helicopters. They searched the woods, dense forest, thick undergrowth, rain-soaked terrain. Nothing. No parachute, no body, no money, not a single piece of evidence. It was as if he had never existed. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. The search continued through winter. Snow covered the mountains. Still nothing. Cooper had vanished. Theories emerged. Some said he died on impact. The jump was suicide. Others believed he survived, lived quietly somewhere with the money. No one knew. February 10, 1980, 9 years later, a boy was playing on the Columbia River beach near Portland. He found something buried in the sand. Bundles of $20 bills, rotted, water-damaged, barely held together. $5,880. The serial numbers matched Cooper's money. The FBI analyzed the bills, the location, the river current. They calculated the money washed downstream from the jump zone. But where was the rest? Where were the other 194,000? The FBI reopened the search. Same area. New teams, advanced equipment, metal detectors, ground-penetrating radar. They searched for weeks, found nothing. The case remained open, active, year after year. 1,000 tips, 800 suspects investigated, DNA tests, fingerprint analysis, all dead ends. July 2016, 45 years later, the FBI officially closed the case. Exhausted all leads, no new credible information, case suspended. But the mystery lives on. Who was he? Where did he come from? Did he survive the jump? Is he still alive? No one knows, and maybe no one ever will. Investigators built a profile. Mid-40s, military background, parachute experience, aviation knowledge, calm under pressure, planned every detail. But experts disagreed. The parachute he chose? Wrong for the jump. It was a training chute, non-steerable. Some say that proves he wasn't an expert. Others say he didn't care. Could he have survived? The conditions were brutal. Minus 50 degrees, 200-mile-per-hour winds, freezing rain, no proper clothing, just a business suit. Even if the parachute opened, he would land in dense forest. At night, in a storm, trees everywhere. A canopy landing could kill him instantly. And the money. If he survived, why was money found in the river? Why didn't he spend it? Not a single bill ever appeared in circulation. Not one. Over the years, many suspects emerged. Richard McCoy. 5 months after Cooper, he hijacked a United Airlines flight. Same method, parachute escape, but he was caught. McCoy escaped prison in 1974. 3 months later, FBI killed him in a shootout. He died without confessing. Was he Cooper? The families say yes. The FBI says no. Kenneth Christensen, Northwest Orient employee, purser, knew the Boeing 727 inside and out, paratrooper in World War II, same height, same build. After 1971, he suddenly had money, bought property, new car, traveled. His brother found a Northwest Orient tie pin in his belongings after he died. Cooper's tie pin was never found. Robert Rackstraw, Army veteran, explosives expert, pilot, parachutist, con man, the perfect profile. In 2016, a cold case team said, "We found it. Rackstraw is Cooper." Rackstraw denied it, laughed at the accusation, said it was nonsense. He died in 2019, never confessed, never admitted anything. Hundreds more were investigated. William Gossett, Dwayne Weber, Lynn Doyle Cooper, Jack Caufelt, L.D. Cooper, all died. None confirmed. The truth died with them. The FBI tracked every serial number. 10,000 bills. Every bank in America was alerted. 50 years of monitoring. Not one bill ever showed up, except those on the beach. In 2007, the FBI tested Cooper's tie for DNA. They found samples, but no match in any database. The DNA is preserved, waiting for someone to claim it. 53 years have passed. Every lead exhausted, every suspect investigated, every theory tested, and still no answers, just questions. If you made it this far, you're hooked. Smash that like, subscribe for more mysteries, and tell us in the comments, do you think he survived? Most experts believe he died. The jump was suicide. No experienced skydiver would jump in those conditions. At night, in a storm, with that equipment. Then where's the body? The forest is vast. Wildlife would scatter the remains. 50 years of weather would erase everything. A body could lie there forever, undiscovered. But what if he made it? What if he was that good? Landed safely, buried the money, walked away, started a new life, and never told a soul. If he survived, it's the perfect crime. The only unsolved hijacking in American history. He outsmarted the FBI, vanished without a trace, became a legend. He became a folk hero. Books, movies, TV shows, songs. A legend. A man who beat the system. The ghost who disappeared. D.B. Cooper. He inspired copycats. 15 more hijackings in the next year. All wanted parachutes. All failed. None vanished like Cooper. He was one of a kind. Cooper changed aviation forever. The Cooper vane was invented, a device that prevents aft stairs from opening mid-flight. It's on every Boeing 727, still there today. $200,000. In 1971 equals $1.4 million today. The ransom was never recovered. The case was never solved. The man was never found. If he survived, he'd be 93 years old today, living in anonymity, keeping the greatest secret, watching the world search for him, smiling, knowing he won. But the real question isn't who was he? The real question is, did he make it? Did he walk away? Or did the forest claim him? We'll never know. D.B. Cooper left no evidence, no fingerprints that matched, no DNA that led anywhere, no body, no confession. Just a legend that refuses to die. Amateur investigators still search, diving in rivers, hiking through forests, analyzing clues, hoping to be the one who solves it. The obsession continues. Every year on November 24th, people gather. Cooper fans, mystery lovers. They celebrate the anniversary, share theories, toast to the man who disappeared. The legend lives on. Maybe that's how he wanted it. To be remembered not as a face, but as a mystery. Not as a name, but as a legend. D.B. Cooper, the man who vanished into thin air. Somewhere in a quiet town, an old man might be smiling, knowing the truth, taking it to his grave. Or maybe his bones lie deep in the forest, forever part of the mystery, forever D.B. Cooper.